Welcome back to the channel. My name is CJ Catchamone, real estate developer here in San Diego. We're actually here at an airport hangar. It's Ben's office, converted, former hangar, converted into
creative office.
And people ask me all the time, like, how do I raise capital for deals, right? And so yes, I do raise capital for my own deals, but when I think of who's the best at it and doing it at scale, I think Ben's raised, tens if not hundreds of millions at this point. And so the purpose of today's video is to A, tour this office because it's actually insane. B is to really just ask Ben a bunch of questions about, the process of how he raises capital and automates a lot of that. And so Ben, if you want to give a quick introduction.
Well, I appreciate that introduction. Yeah, Ben Schuster, I'm a partner here at Comfort Capital. We're a manufactured housing investment firm. I've been in private equity real estate for over a decade. I've raised institutional capital from my time at BlackRock. I've syndicated now well over $100 million of equity from high net worth individuals. I love deals. I'm a deal guy. I'm a real estate investor through and through. And I'm happy to show you guys around the hangar today, chat more about how I think about raising capital, how I think about investing in deals. You and I have invested in deals together, done deals together as well, which has been really exciting. You're the only developer I'll actually invest with. And so I think that's a big testament to who you are and just how you're able to control cost and find good deals. We've been friends for, 15 years. Yeah, 15 years. We went to college together. So yeah, I'm happy to lay it all out today.
Let's go check it out. All right, this is Ben's plane. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So what do we got in here?
Yeah, so this is Blake Comfort, the co-founder of Comfort Capital. This is his plane. It's a Carbon Cub. This is pretty sweet. I go up with him to fly. I'm not a pilot myself, but he's a pilot. This is the hangar bay, right? So this is where you store a plane and you can store a Porsche as well. So, and some golf carts with trash on them. Those are Blake's dad's trophies there. So he was a hunter. He's no longer with us, but we've kept these as his best trophies in the hangar, and I think it just gives it a cool creative space.
Okay, so now let's go into like the actual systems and processes, right? So you have your friends, coworkers, people, right?
Yes.
So how do you kind of build your database? And let's just start there, and then we'll go into actually how to reach out to them.
Let's do that. Let's get inside. I'll show you guys around a little bit, get out of the heat, and then we can dive in. I'll go step by step of exactly what I would do if I was just starting out.
Let's do it.
After you.
Sure, you.
Our job's easy. We just talk for 30 minutes an hour, and then we're done.
Yeah, exactly. Here's some of our parks right here in Phoenix. So we had some other photos of our parks all around the office. Yeah, nothing in California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we don't do we live in California, but we don't invest in California. And we just don't feel comfortable having our clients' capital. We're long-term investors. And so we just don't want to essentially be binded to any changing or strict regulatory problems that California or other blue states provide. Yeah,
so build all this.
Yeah,
it's completely scratch.
So this used to be actually a living room. This was a bedroom, and then as we've continued to grow, we just have converted it into more.
Oh, like a live-in
space.
hangar.
Yeah, that's what these were built for. Is essentially live-in hangars. Yeah, and so we have our team up here. This is our podcast studio.
Here you go. Oh. Where do you like to sit?
Yeah, I think you and I could probably just sit right here.
All right, so the purpose of this video obviously is to educate people how to go from zero to a beast at raising capital.
Yep.
How do you go about creating your list of people? Let's start there.
So yeah, we could start there, and then I'll maybe backtrack and just because I get this question a lot when I talk to investors or potential investors. They're like, hey, I got this land on my property, or my uncle owns this. I'd love to develop, or I'd love to do something with it, but they don't even know what that means and like how to start, right? And I want to raise capital, and I've gotten that question a lot from people that we know, like, how do you start? And then I'll go into the funnel. So if you have a deal and you want to start raising capital, the first thing that you need to do is you need to get in touch with a real estate attorney. Because once you start syndicating capital, you need to have legal agreements in place. And so you need a subscription and operating agreement. Just friends and family, right? So you're not going to advertise these deals on Facebook or Instagram. You just want to get enough legal structure to then be able to raise from friends and family.
Which is what, a subscription agreement, operating agreement?
Yep, that's it. Then you need to form an LLC, open up a bank account.
Okay.
And then you need to, obviously file for that LLC. The real estate attorney will do all of this, right? They generally have boilerplate language too. So it's not that complicated. It's not that expensive either.
Say we're going to buy $1 million apartment building.
Yep.
What do you think legal costs would be? Like $1,000, $10,000?
Less than $1,000.
And where would you find this attorney? Through referrals or just?
Referrals, like going to networks, right? Like real estate networks. You can find real estate attorneys. You can reach out to me. I'm happy to recommend my real estate attorneys. They have junior people underneath them that are always looking to grow their business, but it's like not that complicated, but you have to do that. Like you need to have the legal structure and the bank account set up.
LLC, legal bank account.
Yes.
Okay.
Once you have that, some of the questions that the attorney is going to ask you is, you're the managing member of this LLC. You're going to syndicate and raise capital through that LLC. So then you're going to have like investing members, right? Like limited partners.
Okay.
What are going to be the rules of the road, the fees, how money's going to flow through, right? So like this is where you're like, okay, is there going to be a preferred return? Like who receives, the splits, all of that stuff, right? Like that needs to be documented. And in a legal agreement that your limited partners would like sign up for, right? That would be like a binding agreement. That'd be the first thing I would do.
Okay.
While I did that, I would have some sort of marketing materials. I would put together some sort of pitch deck. It doesn't need to be overly complicated, but most importantly, you have to have underwritten the deal. Now with AI, it's so easy.
Really?
So like anyone can do this stuff now. The reason why the pitch deck is important is because it's follow-up. So say you and I had a conversation. I'm like, hey, CJ, I got this deal. It's awesome. It's great. Like all this stuff, right? And then we hang up the phone. And I'm like, oh, CJ's interested. What do I do next? It goes nowhere, right? You need follow-up. Hey, CJ, it was great getting on the phone with you. I appreciate your interest in this deal. Here's the pro forma. Here's the pitch deck. Here's some bullet points in the email of why it's a good deal. Let me know if, as we get closer, let's have another meeting. Would love to have you in. I'm in the problem-solving business. I'm not in the sales business. So I want to know exactly who you are, where you make your money, if you have a family, like your risk appetite, and then like what are the objections that you have, right? And what are the needs that you have? It's really a dance as you go through.
So I guess 2 follow-up questions. A lot of these people too, like for example, like a lot of people watching this, they may have not raised capital before. People may not know they're doing real estate full time. Say I'm calling like an old coworker that I know is like pretty successful. Right? How are you being friendly, but also how are you kind of moving that towards, hey, you want to actually invest? Right? How are you kind of bridging that gap?
So a little bit of common sense here, right?
Okay.
You call that old coworker, you haven't talked to him in 2 years. And like within the first 5 minutes, you start pitching your deal. I mean, like if you called me, we hadn't talked for 3 years. And then I'm like, he just wants me for the money. You're calling somebody to catch up, right? You're building rapport. What have you been working on? You're talking. What are they going to do? Oh, what have you been working on? Oh yeah, so I've been really transitioning into real estate. I got this really awesome deal. You're dripping the deal on them, but you're providing them an update because people get excited to join a journey with somebody, right?
Totally,
like
100%.
And they want to be supportive. The worst time to raise money for deals is when you absolutely need it.
I know,
Because you come across needy, right? You come across needy, and people can sense it in a second. And you always want to come from a position of power, right? And I'm happy to go through like more like tactical dynamics. It's a lot of mindset too. But then even how do you structure a raise, right? And this is like how you do it professionally. Like you're raising 200K, just reach out to your friends and family and do the things that I say, but then I can take it all the way up to how do you do a $30 million raise?
Exactly. We'll get there.
Yes.
Okay, so the deck is kind of like your proof, right? You have your pro forma, right? So you have your underwriting, make sure that's dialed. You have your bio about yourself.
Yes.
Right? Ideally, if you don't have a track record or you're partnering with someone, right? Bio about the team. Because like some of these pitch decks, like death by PowerPoint, I hate PowerPoints. So like if you're gonna keep a PowerPoint short, concise, like what are the things you have to have in your deck?
Yes. You have to have the financials.
Okay.
You need to have the team. I like maps. If you're a real estate guy, it's like have a map,
100%.
Where the property is, location, what are, let's call them landmarks, right? Like for me, let's just talk about a multifamily deal. Where's the closest grocery store? What is that grocery store? Things to do. If it's a market that I don't know a lot about, I'm gonna start to look at like what retailers are in that area. Retail is they're extremely market driven. In-N-Out, Chick-fil-A, Whole Foods, Starbucks, they know exactly where to put stores based on traffic, based on demographics, based on income levels. Yep. And so I'm looking at that. That will tell me within 5 minutes whether or not it's a good market. Location, location, location. So if you think about a deal, I start from the top. What's the market? Who we are, like you kind of narrow down in. And I would say you probably go who we are, the market, then the deal, and then you could have any supplementary stuff like below that. Put that all together and then make sure it's not more than 10 slides. Sometimes when you get asked a question and you have a direct response for and you could follow up quickly, it proves to the person that you've thought about this, but you're not so insecure that you need to scream from the top of your lungs every single detail about the deal. The less you could say and wait for questions and have them speak more, and you have really good responses to those questions, starts to establish a lot of trust.
100%. You probably get asked the same 10 questions over and over.
Yes.
Do you put those 10 questions in your deck?
You don't want to like deter a question. Like some people are like, oh, if we just put all this stuff in the deck, then when we get on a call, they're just going to write me a check. That's kind of not how it works. Like this is something that I really had to learn. You don't need to sell every single person, meaning you need to be okay with failure. When you're on a call with somebody, like I've gotten really good now where I'm like, you know what? This person is only in the stock market. This is not a real estate person. It is not my job to convince them to then do this deal. And then think about the long-term ramifications of that. Someone that already doesn't feel comfortable maybe with you or the deal, do you want them as a partner in your investment?
Absolutely not. Yep.
You need to then just be able to know when to cut bait and say, hey, John, I totally hear you loud and clear. I agree with what you're saying. I think at this point in time, I'd love for you just to continue to follow along. If you have any follow-up questions, I'm happy to schedule another call. But why don't we just put like a pin in this and walk away? Because for every one of John, there's 10 more people that want to invest in the deal and you haven't talked to them yet. So use your energy for those people.
Yep.
Don't try to convince somebody that doesn't want to do an investment in a real estate deal that they should do it just because you think it's such a great idea.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about more like tools, right? Because like if you're not using tech now, you're just going to get left behind.
Yep.
So top of the funnel, what are you guys using the CRM for?
We use Go High Level.
Go High Level?
Yeah. So that's our CRM. So we send all of our emails out as well. So like if I'm not into a deal, I try to do like once a week, but it's during like once a month. I'm sending something out to my base, right?
Some sort of drip,
Yeah, some sort of drip. And any email that I send, I want it to be my guys that used to run hedge funds and have retired because they're so successful would be totally okay with having that in their inbox and read, all the way down to the plumber who's been a great saver and owns a couple of rentals would be okay to read. I don't send out junk.
Okay.
So much of the email stuff that I get from like sponsors is just trash. It's like
AI generated.
Yeah. You didn't spend any time on it. And I didn't get anything from it. Like I take a lot of pride in like what I'm sending out to somebody, and I don't want to waste people's time.
How are you building that top of the funnel for new users to reach out to?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go into exactly like how my career progressed, because I wasn't syndicating like, hundreds of millions of dollars like overnight. Blake, when he hired me, right? And we became friends. We met at a Starbucks. I was really interested in mobile home parks. I thought it was an amazing asset class. And then we became friends for 2 years, and he approached me and said, hey, you ever thought about leaving BlackRock and come joining me as a partner and helping us scale the business? He's like, how much money do you think you could raise? I told him point blank, I have no idea, right? I've raised institutional capital, but I've never like syndicated,
totally
right?
Released. Yep.
And so this is what I did. From when I was 16 all the way through, at this point, I was 29, I always kept in touch with mentors, with friends, with with everyone. I just, I came from nothing. I was, you know my backstory.
Yeah.
I basically was a youth homeless, right? And so I basically have built my entire career on my name, my relationships, and my word. And I've always stayed in touch with people all through the way. People that I've gotten scholarships with. If they ask, hey, can you go speak at our event about your backstory? I would do all those things, right? Not knowing what I would get back in return.
Exactly.
Right? I built a very strong network, if you will. I was at BlackRock for a long time. I had a lot of great relationships. I was always open to go and get coffee with people. I was just a really friendly guy. I've always been really interested in people and what drives people and how people get ahead and make money, right? Because that's what I was trying to learn. I was like, I want to get ahead in life. And so once I got over to Comfort, what I did is I had a lot of these emails. I had my phones and my contact. And what I did is I sent out an email to everyone, BCC'd. Hi, everyone. I just wanted to give you an update on what's going on in my life. I've recently left BlackRock. I'm now with Comfort Capital. It's a manufactured housing investment firm, mobile home parks. I'm a partner here. If you guys are okay, I'd love to add you to our email list, and that way you can follow along on my journey as I'm raising money for deals and investing in mobile home parks. And so I did that. If you don't want to be on this list, please shoot me an email. Respond back, and I'll make sure.
It's kind of like you're kicking off. So when they get your call, or your text or whatever, they expect.
Yes. So I sent out that email, and then I just started calling, right? That's and I would just going back to what we talked about. And I wasn't saying, I had a deal, right? I was just catching up with people. Ben, how are you? How you been? I recently got married. Oh, that's amazing. And that just spawned, right? And within that first year, I raised $50 million in total. Some of them were existing relationships from Comfort that I would go and introduce myself. Hey, I'm the new guy on the team. This is my background. Do you have any questions or anything? And I'm adding value. Where can I add value? Where can you add value? Right? And so that's just what I did. And I just never stopped doing that. So that there gave me a strong base. Now from there, how do you grow that base, right? Because everyone has a base. Everyone knows people, right? Everyone has relationships, you have family, you have friends, you have coworkers, coaches, whatever it is. Now, how do you grow that base? You made a great point. Call and ask for referrals. That helps, but also too, it's when you call someone that maybe was a mentor that's worth a lot of money, he's not going to immediately call up all his buddies and start referring. Right?
You want an organic referral.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I do is I'm always selling. I wouldn't even say I'm selling a deal. Basically, I'm going out and I'm building relationships. So I just went to a charity golf tournament on Monday. I'll just give you a real example, right? But I do this every single day. And I golf with this M&A attorney. Awesome guy, has 4 kids, named Steve. And we spent, 4 hours together, and now we're best buds, right?
Yep.
So, hey, at the end, hey, let me get your, people, this is a really good habit. Hey, let me get your phone number, your email. I'll put you on my deal list. That way you could follow along with me, all that stuff.
Yep.
I invited him to another golf tournament that I'm going to do. It was kind of by his house. And then now what is that going to do? He's probably not going to invest this year, but now he's going to know who I am, and he has a big network of people.
100%.
I hammered that we solve tax problems, right? And he's like, oh, this is amazing. I give him a bunch of value about how his spouse doesn't work. He's a full-time partner at a large M&A attorney.
Real estate professional.
And I was like, you need to do real estate professional. And at the end of the 18, he's like, hey man, I really appreciate that. Yeah, I need to get the real estate professional. 100%. I'm gonna buy a rental and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Think about the difference between playing the long ball and being hey, you should put in $100K in this deal. This guy would be dude, this guy is not a friend, a peer. This guy is just annoying. Yeah. Right? And he's a sales guy. He just wants something from me. He thinks about things as transactional. Yeah. Yep. Now I have a friend, and I'm trying to actually help him because he's making a lot of money. He's going to continue to make a lot of money, structure his life in a way. Yeah. And he's going to buy a rental that I have nothing to do with. And I told him, go buy a rental that makes a lot of sense for you. Even if you break even, you could hand it down to your kids. He loved that idea, right? Have your wife get the 750 hours, that whole thing. I've built trust, right? And so now when he has a buddy, going back to referrals, that just sold a rental property and he has $500,000 of capital gains, right? He's going to be like, hey, I got this guy I met at a golf tournament, good dude. Yeah. I'll put you in touch on an email, right? And then I could actually go solve a problem. But that's the difference. You're playing the long ball, but you got to do that every single day to then get to a point where you have a big enough breadth and then depth to then go and syndicate large amounts of money.
Yeah.
So this is not the get rich quick scheme.
Totally.
Like, you need to dedicate a full 10 years. It took me a full 10 years before I ever felt like, oh my goodness, I make more money every month than I spend. Like, why are you even watching this YouTube video? It's like, you probably have a motivation that you want to get ahead in life.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I want to make sure that I have more money left over every month after I pay all my bills, after I go out to dinner, after I do the vacations, than I spend, right? You want to make more money than you spend.
100%, yeah.
It took me full 10 years before I got that.
Yeah.
You know, like, where it's like actually meaningful.
Yeah. And
it's 10 years of full on dedication. Like, I've been at this professionally for a long time. Even like, oh, you worked at BlackRock, he's probably making a ton of money. You don't make really any money as like a W-2. You're taxed at 50% of it. I know,
dude, it's...
You know, and so I'm so passionate now about helping people
100%.
get ahead through real estate, through the tax advantages that it provides, and set them up something that, one, they could live off of, but two, most importantly, generationally, they could hand off to their kids. I'm so passionate about the deals that we do and what I do. This is how I sell. I believe I was honestly put on this earth to help prevent people from bad deals. You know, like how I think and I talk about people, and I, like, that's why I always like put my clients that are like, hey, I want to start doing some apartments. I'm like, well, you should go talk to CJ. And we've had those, and then they've gone with someone else, and then they lost their money, right? Or it wasn't great. Yeah. It's because I don't care if it comes to me. I just want, I've seen it in my own life growing up. It's really hard to make money. I'm really passionate about preserving capital and growing it with good, trustworthy people that have your best interest in mind. And I feel like if I continue to do that for other people, that it's going to come back to me 100%. In my own life. And it has. It is, yeah. It's happening right now. Yeah. So like that would say, like, fundamentally, that's how you raise capital. I'm going to give people more value than they give to me.
It's not just X's and O's.
No.
When would someone go to raise institutional or family office type capital? And why or why not would they do that? Because it's one big check, right? It's probably tempting.
It is. And it's been tempting for us.
I'm sure you guys have that offers more times than not.
We've had the meetings in our conference room. I came from an institutional background, so I have all those relationships. I've raised institutional capital when I was at BlackRock. That was one of my jobs there. I'd say for institutional capital, you need to realize that you are hiring a boss. So what is institutional capital? It gets thrown around a lot. These are public and private pension funds, endowments, large multifamily offices. I wouldn't say single family offices, but large multifamily offices. It'd be like foundations, and then maybe we could throw one more in there, like sovereign wealth funds, right?
Well, their minimum check is like what, $5 million or something like that?
I'd say minimum $5 million.
Minimum $5 million.
Yeah. Right? They probably nothing less than $25 million, right? So it's a lot of money. Yeah. But it comes with a lot of strings. And what I don't like about institutional capital is how dependent you become on it. So say we're going to go try to start a fund and raise institutional capital. You're like reaching out to all these institutions. You're having all these meetings, you know, all going through all, if you can get the meeting, right? And then they can say no at the last minute, right? And you're stuck in the mud. I don't like that.
Yeah,
That's the first thing I don't like. Second thing I don't like about institutional capital is that they're tax exempt entities, meaning they don't pay taxes. And so we do a perpetual 1031 exchange, right? So all of our investors, they could take their money on a sale, right? But we're going to carry that for that LLC and roll it into the next deal. Because I don't want to go pay tax. I'm a cash flow guy. I just want to continue to compound net worth and cash flow. Use all the depreciation against any other active income, right?
Exactly.
Institutional capital can tell you really when to buy and when to sell. And then when you sell, you can't really 1031 exchange, right? So it's good for velocity. You're paying a lot of money in taxes, and you can sell a great deal that you'd want to hold in the family or hold with your investors that you love for longer. But it's like, nope, the fund's done. You got to sell 5 years. Boom, we got our 17% IRR. But then you're thinking in your mind too, this thing has so much more juice. Too late. You got to sell. Now you have a tax event. Now you got to go redeploy that capital, and then you're paying a bunch of taxes.
So it's taxes, control.
Control.
Plus you're just dealing with a political machine at that point.
You're dealing with a W-2 at the end of the day. You're dealing with some analyst out of New York or out of Dallas that doesn't have any ownership. It's not his money, right? It's not his money. He's just looking to hopefully progress in his career. He's probably going to leave to go somewhere else. So you build a relationship with somebody out of Cal Stirs, and then 5 years later, he's gone.
Yep.
Someone new comes in, the mandate changes.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I go directly to the check writer. I build a relationship with them, right? It's like I'm dealing with the decision maker.
So to wrap things up, we'll definitely do a follow-up on tax strategies, like 1031 exchange, real estate professional, costs, segs, bonus depreciation, the gamut.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of people spending way too much money on taxes.
Yes.
Do you want to share your contact info if anyone wants to reach out? Or
yeah, I mean, you can find us comfortcapital.com. I do think we should follow up. I mean, I'm happy to continue to talk about raising capital, talk about all things taxes. I've gotten really savvy with taxes, and so there hasn't been a situation that I haven't heard. And it's not because I'm so smart, it's because I lean on really good CPAs, and they've educated me through this. And I'm talking to client CPAs with our CPA, so you learn a lot going through all those reps. But absolutely, yeah, you could. Anyone listening, if you want to learn more about myself, if you have any questions about mobile home park investing, taxes, how I think about raising deals, I'm happy. I'm an open book. There's no secrets. It's just a lot of hard work.
I mean, you're constantly, you guys are raising capital. So if anyone is looking for, tax write-offs or a good solid cash flow investment, or like I plan this year with some of the assets I'm selling to invest in Comfort, just because it's an amazing vehicle for tax write-offs.
I like the combination.
Amazing vehicle, and it cash flows. Yeah. So as I diversify, like I love multifamily, I love development. It's what I'm good at.
Yep.
But like I personally will be pumping some cash into this funnel just because of all the appreciation I need. Yep. So I think if anyone's in similar situation, definitely reach out to Ben.
And then I'd say, and that's why I like to invest in your deals too, is because mine are, as I talked about, I'm a long-term cash flow, 1031 exchange, grow net worth. Yep. Don't strike out, just continue to get on base. Yep. But I like the development deals because then you get those pops.
Get the pops, exactly.
And then you get you need both. You get a liquidity event.
You want both. Yeah.
And then you got a tax problem, but I know how to solve the tax problem, so that's why I love your deals. Yeah. Right? So it works both ways.
You need both, man.
You need both.
Yeah. So
awesome. Right. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you coming into the office.
Dude, this is sick.
Yeah.
I want to work in this office.
Let's do it again.
All right. Money.